Hello everyone, and welcome to the party where today we bring you the penultimate episode of the Queens of Venn, our Mouseguard role-playing game. Penultimate means second to last. By the way, our last game will not be next week. It will be the week after because we want to make sure we have everyone here for it. And so speaking of everyone, I'm going to throw it over to Four to do introductions and tell us about the game and all of that stuff as the MC of this wonderful world of ours.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
That means Mouse Captain, by the way.
I approve of different titles other than Game Master or Dungeon Master. One belongs in a dungeon, and the other is not a master. I will never submit to another's rule of law.
I like storytelling.
In Mouseguard.
I like
storytelling. That's a discussion for future talk shows.
Yeah.
Different titular titles. I don't consider them players. I call them my best friends in the world.
Oh.
Mouseguard takes place in a fantastical world that we know from the comics of David Peterson, in which little mice take on the role of protector and other various, occupations that involve stopping snakes, torrential rains, and other various disasters that could befall the gentle mice of the territories.
Gentle mice.
Gentle mice. However, our mice are tackling something a little bit diplomatically shrewd. They are attacking the island of Venn, which has basically become several different fronts of a civil war between the daughters of Crotic, who are essentially the religious leaders of, can only be described as a very, it's a cult.
Is it a cult?
I think it's like something like a cult. If you look, well, you can make anything a cult.
It's a cult of personality.
It's a cult. There you go. That's what I was trying to get at, because Crotic.
Neon lights.
I know.
Nobel Prize.
If it can't live past its first generation leader, then it's still a cult. That's my opinion. So
after that, it becomes a movement.
So you guys are currently in the island of Venn, in which you have ascended the tower of Maravan, who is the daughter who channels the spirits of mice and their ingenuity and progressive ideas. You could call them a passive progressive. And as you guys ascended, you were attacked. And I would like you, one of you, either Zed or Throck, to go ahead and give us a little intro to your characters, what your characters have been doing last session, to sort of give Neuro and his character Stroud an insight into where he currently is. Because as far as we knew, Stroud was mostly concerned about making sure the beetle outfits worked.
And they did. Do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it, Ben?
I did it the last 2 times. It's your turn.
Okay, so we traveled from Lockhaven down to Maple Harbor. Was it Maple Harbor we went to?
I think was Shorestone. Shorestone.
Yeah, we went down to Shorestone.
We went to whichever one we have continually used to get to Venn.
We picked up our friends and their boat and traveled across in the mists, because we weather watched the crap out of it, to Venn itself, where we made landfall and snuck across the island through evil, super pumped up ants who were very hungry, wearing ant musk and the chitinous armor that Stroud made for us, crawling on our hands and knees, pretending we were also ants or beetles, really. We made our way to the tower, and we found a bunch of people beat up at the bottom of the tower, and we stashed our armor there as we made our way up. We got attacked by a number of mice who were essentially besieging our dear friend at the top of the tower, and we took them all out, or we took a couple of them out, a bunch of them run away, and one of them hung out with us. And now we are at the threshold where we have been met by the Chamberlain of Maryville? Is it steward?
Essentially, That's actually Chamberlain suits it very well. And
The seneschal.
one,
Yes.
I am I gave you their name. Their name was.
Funky Winkerbean.
They are now Funky Winkerbean. Okay then.
No,
That's
no.
a regional
No,
reference, really.
it's their name. Their name is Sandala,
Oh yeah.
and you are currently joined by Gabriel,
Yes.
who is one of the mice that serve the Weasel daughter. And
But we convinced him to work with us now.
yes, he works with you now, at least since he heard the queen is alive. So it's
Yes.
most likely that some of these creatures on the island are more loyal to the so-called matriarch, the
Yes.
queen of this land, than perhaps the doctrine that governs it.
We also found out that the weasel thinks the queen is dead, or at least is telling people they think the queen is dead, and attempting to get rid of those who are trying to consolidate power for themselves. And so we have a possible new ally or a very, very sneaky liar. We don't know which. And the last thing we learned was that Marivelle is wounded, and that is where we stopped because we need Stroud for the healings.
That's right. That I found a convenient place to start the session so we could attend to this dire situation.
This was not doing so hot either, as I recall.
Oh no. It was the descent down was pretty fun, Neuro. You guys got shot at with arrows and stuff.
Oh, cute. That's real cute.
Yeah.
I get a fate
Okay.
point for that, right?
Nope. You get to recover from condition or recover a point of nature.
Ooh, I recover a point of nature. I'm back to 5. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I got
yeah.
So yes.
Ow, ow.
Sorry.
Ooh,
Hit me in the
yeah.
face with that one. Ow, stop it.
Let's see what to do. Stroud, you look before you at this roosting kestrel, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
She does appear to be very tired. No wing doesn't look broken, at least at this instance, but you do see that there is a stream of blood that has sort of dried to her chest that leads up around, sort of underneath her feathers, around her head somewhere. So you will have to make a healer check, at least to ensure that she is not direly wounded.
Yeah, that would be nice. All right, so do I get any assistance for this?
You have one assistance from Sandala, who is actively trying to make sure that her liege, her sage of the Great Spirit, is not going to leave her too suddenly.
Okay.
I
Certainly one, though.
can assist you with Fighter to help you figure out what might have caused such a wound.
That's smart.
Right.
I can.
I was going to say, that's totally up to
I was
Floor.
looking at Floor. I was like, okay.
I tried to blow by it and just let you have it.
No.
I could assist with Survivalist by helping you to figure out what herbs might help staunch the wound.
Maybe locating water. That will be your task for survivalists, because harvester and nature are used for that, for finding herbs and stuff, foraging, essentially.
Okay. I will help you find water to clean the wound.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
hey, look, there's a fountain over here.
okay, check this out. I know this is a little weird. I think A wounded bird is probably a little flighty. Get it? A little nervous, maybe. A little, I don't know, worried that they might die. I can use Persuader to keep them calm during the procedure.
To coo sweet nothings in its ear.
That is correct.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Exactly like that.
We don't have a kestrel, but we do have a hawk on the equestrian center's property, and it makes quite the scream. It's not like a graceful. No, it's like a. So I just imagine Thane just doing that in front of this thing's face and trying to ensure that it doesn't flip out.
No.
Oh. All right, friends.
Is that okay?
Neuro, your obstacle is going to be something pretty high. If not 4, it will be 5. Let's double check.
Okay.
Oh man, healer. No, it'll be obstacle 4.
Okay, so are we accepting Thane's assistance in here?
I will accept Thane's assistance in this
petting
manner.
and be like, it'll be okay. We're here to help. All's going to be well.
Okay.
The queen's alive. You'll be great. It's fine.
Then, as you're like whispering sweet nothings in its ear, you get freaked out as you realize that bird ears are actually just holes in their fucking heads.
Yes, they are.
Air.
Ooh.
Stroud is the warrior.
5 successes. You've topped me in this moment, and I
mean,
well, this will be awkward.
Don't tell Bronze that this happened. So you can tell Parrish. So we have arrived at this moment where Stroud, you've begun to sort of part the feathers, and it does appear that there was some sort of close combat that this bird engaged in, and you can see that it is a large gash that has clearly been driven into the bird's neck and back, somewhere along. I don't exactly know where their shoulders are, but it's like somewhere right above that joint that meets that. So you'll be able to sort of staunch it, make sure it's clean and all that. It does appear that the pain is the primary source of discomfort and I guess dizziness or wooziness. The urge to fly is strong, but trying to stay in this enclosed space seems to be causing more stress than it should. Unlike, a mouse who you would give sort of bed rest, this sort of creature wants nothing more than to be in the open space.
Okay.
The real question now is, what do you guys do next?
Is she feeling talkative?
She is. Now that she is being seen to. She thanks you with a sort of a bow of her beaked face, which is difficult to read. It's hard to see if she's being grateful or if she's going to snap Stroud up for a quick pick-me-up after sort of like a little healing mouse potion. The kestrel says, "This was given to me by the foul squirrel that chatters incessantly to elude her at this moment. They have taken the palace, and I imagine if Kotick is not resisting, he is situated at the very pinnacle until all this blows over. As far far as I know, Azilis and her kind are trying to siege both the tunnels beneath the palace and whatever door they can assail. As far as I understand, Sidwell is trying to manufacture more ant armies in order to simply do away with such opportunities. I know not where she is. As for the fox, you can see it roaming around here and there, but most of my ground troops have been trying to pull back to the tower in its vicinity. What is your intention, Mouseguard?
We bring good news. The queen is alive. And we have a plan.
And that's where the bad news begins.
Oh no! She goes, no, that's She says, this plan I can give some aid to, but I cannot guarantee my full strength. I've been using many of my scouts to at least give me an eye on the battlefield. I'm likely one of the few in this conflict that has flight available to their units. No thanks to that one right there. And Gabriel, who is sort of a light brown mouse with a quiver of arrows, a bow that has sort of been like set to the side, and a long sort of dark cloak with leaves sort of sewn into its fabric. He shrugs and says, there's a lot of miscommunication right now.
It appears so, as our friend the Weasel seems to believe that the queen is dead and is fighting to protect the queendom from the more do you know anything about this? Is this true?
Well, certainly
Does the Weasel have good intentions? Would the Weasel support the queen if she came back? Do you know?
I think yes. That is what all the daughters have sworn to do, however. I'm certainly of the mind that Azilis is one of the more practical-minded among their lot. And also, in my opinion, the one who can actually win this conflict, put an end to this disservice to the Queen's name.
Mervon, our plan was to work with you and the turtle whose name I can't remember, who Sean can't remember his name of at the moment.
Rivenon.
Yeah, right, Rivenon. To essentially join forces while undercutting the ability, essentially sabotaging the ability of our opposition to use the ants and the bees by eliminating their stock of pheromones. Does it make more sense for us just to go straight to Weasel?
It's difficult to say. Essentially, if it's dependent on what you want to do with Azilis. If you simply want to work with her, then
our goal is to prepare
the
way for the return of the queen.
Then we need to stop this conflict. We need to take back the palace and get Ludher Krotik in a room and under guard.
And that would be best achieved with the Weasel, with their might.
Well, she certainly has a leg up on getting there.
I think
she has fierce command of her units and those loyal to her who see.
So from everything oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
A lot of the other species, like ferrets and the weasels, they follow her instinctually. But it's a matter of what kind of peace you want for the Queen to come back to. Do you want a state in which we have soldiers marching down every single road?
How you govern your lands is not our problem. If we have some say in that outcome, I would, of course, prefer a peaceful and just society as a partner off of our shores.
Here's how I see it. If you truly came here with the idea to help me save this land that I love,
That's why we came to you first.
this is what I would command you to do. I would say we could go down one or two routes. The first is to get that young woman's impression on the battle at hand. Delicious coffee.
I
Delicious.
apologize if there is noise in the background. Portia has a friend over. Sorry. It's okay.
I love you.
4 loves you.
Love you too.
Portia
See?
loves you too.
Oh, thank you. So, Maravan says, the first is securing Krotik. As long as we have him on our side, essentially that puts the rest of the daughters at a disadvantage and puts us in charge of essentially disassembling these armies that have sprung up. Using Azilis and, in my opinion, the Fox to do this is the best way.
How are we going to use the fox to capture Krotik?
Will simply cause a giant distraction. Everybody will kill each other while we make our way up the palace side.
Remind me again, what is Krotik?
Krotik is a tunnel lord from the Weasel War in 1148. Or
So-
49. 49.
And so is a weasel.
He is a weasel. And he is a proponent in the religion that we practice here.
Yeah.
Controlling him will piss off our squirrel friend. Morvenez is, to a fault, very loyal and dedicated. That's why she has him in her stead. Firstly, whether he's there willingly is going to make this either very easy or very difficult. But I would use the fox to assail the exterior where most of the battle is taking place between Squirrel's champions and Azilis's formations. And while that is happening, they hopefully kill the fox. We use our patterns of flight to make ascension, if we can survive such a dire altitudes. And we simply go in and take the palace.
We fly in and take the palace.
From the top, it's better to attack from where they likely don't intend for a force to amass. Not only that, it would be a second attempt than my first. They would not expect a second, especially after the wound they've given me.
I'll look to Finn and Stroud.
That is, of course, only the first option.
I'm not so confident necessarily in a air-based attack. They've repelled your forces once. The idea that they won't be expecting it doesn't necessarily mean that they won't be prepared for it. What did they do to stop you the first time?
When all this first started, I attempted to take initiative. They had set up archers and assault units on various balconies. I was able to shrug off many of the projectiles, but when I came into close combat with, did not go well, and
I'm sorry, you came into close combat with
Azillis. Initially, she had control of the palace, but she lost it soon after. If you speak to her, she'll likely blame my maneuver on that little problem.
Okay. But are the archers still there? Do we know?
Yes, it's most likely they're probably taking positions over the battlefield and using their same positions as earlier to fire down instead of fire up.
Still, I'm concerned about that. Archers are a bit of an issue for you, I would imagine.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It's just little bee stings almost. So long as I have my hood.
Do they have any siege weapons?
Siege. That depends on who you're talking about.
Ballista, for example.
We made a point not to get too handsy on those types of weapons. But the palace, of course, does have a few in case of dire emergency, albeit the fox.
If we come in at night, and we can ensure there's a clouded moon, I feel like it's a good way to slip in.
What sort of magic can you use to ensure the cloud cover?
No magic.
Not so much that we ensure the cloud cover as I can just tell you whether or not there is likely to be any cloud cover, and thus we can time our assaults to match it.
I love it so much. Continue. We will assume.
Working back from that, then, is to set Squirrel against Fox to provide the cover we need to make it in under confusion.
Well,
I
yes.
don't know how to make that happen.
Starve them.
I would also like to end this conflict with as few deaths of my countrymen as I can. Many of them are simply following a deluded mind.
Indeed.
Vicinity makes the difference in a land like this with so many competing ideals. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you think, it's merely who's in charge in your neighborhood. You could, instead of an aerial assault while the armies are distracted with a greater foe, we could bring more daughters into this, Rivenon being one. She's underground in her archives, no doubt. And as such, she is also facing, I can't say, possibly being sieged the same way that the palace is, if anyone really cares. But if we are able to make a deal with her, we could bring her into battle. If she strides onto that battlefield, I can assure you those gates will not stand. And doing that, we can strike a very worthwhile alliance with that weasel.
This sounds like a plan to me. So what we would do is we would bring the weasel and Rivenon onto our side. We would use both Rivenon and I keep blanking on the weasel's name. That's why I'm saying the weasel. I apologize.
Azillis, yeah, I
Azillis.
flip on it.
Yeah.
He wears azaleas.
Azaleas. We have Azalea, Azillis, and Rivenon. we have Azillis and Rivenon come directly at the castle, one from below, one from above ground. While we sweep in through the air to take Prodic and coup de main, as they say.
Coup de main?
I'm the man.
You the main.
Yeah. I think that could work. We just have to get Rivenon and Azillis on side.
Yes. But again, Zillus will always take the tactical advantage. She's
So we
not
need to
one
get Riven on
sympathize.
first, in order to prove to Azilus that we have the power necessary to do the thing.
So we have, I guess, like the convincing card for Azilus, but for Rivenon, do we have something that we can offer? Is there something that Rivenon will want in terms of this offer here, or is there something we could bring to the table?
Rivenon cares particularly for security, and she doesn't like being disturbed from her work.
What is her
Her
work?
studies,
What is her work?
she's particularly responsible for much of the architecture here, as well as the structure of the attendance to the beehive.
Would a knowledge sharing arrangement, you think, maybe bring her over with the mainland?
It's possible.
I think that's something we could talk about.
Either that, or we just convince her that the sense of serenity will come back if she assists us. It's just a one for all.
Yeah.
But
Quiet again.
get the kids off the lawn.
Yeah.
The problem with that is Sidwell's aunts, of course.
Correct.
Right.
Right now, she has agents trying to spread much of her concoction, her venomous scent into the ground.
So our goal, here's the plan, as it is. The first thing we do is we remove the ability for Sidwell to continue sowing this stuff by destroying the operations where Sidwell is creating these pheromones. Then we go to Rivenon and say, we've dealt with the Sidwell thing. We can give you quiet and share knowledge with you if you want to get on side with us, because the Queen is coming back and you want that. And then we go to Azaleus and go, we've done all this crap to prep the way, but we need you as the final piece. That'll make Azalea feel both really well loved and that we're doing the tactically smart thing. And then the attack happens and we swoop in and then we take Crotic. So that's a lot of moving pieces, but it seems like that's what it needs to be. Yeah?
As long as it frees up the Queen's throne and leaves any doubt on where Crotic stands, yes.
Yeah, I think that's... Well, we're going to... It's going to be up to us to capture Crotic.
It's a good plan.
All right. So, step one.
I can see this going.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Finn and Stroud. Thoughts? Concerns?
I have concerns, but nothing beyond small tactical levels. It'll be primarily on us to see that this functions.
Yes. Yeah, the two big pieces we're responsible for at the very beginning, getting rid of the pheromone stuff, and at the very end, with Crotic. In the middle, it's just convincing people to do what we need them to do, and then they'll have to do it.
I think that middle part may prove to be the more difficult.
But we'll see. We won't know.
But I
until
don't think we
there.
have any. Yeah, I don't think we have any other choice in the matter at this juncture.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we get to Sidwell's operations?
Well,
You
since
probably walk.
You could walk. She's sort of like, if a beak could smile. She says, I could not say where Sidwell's operations are. When last we checked, she was in the southern part of the lands. And unfortunately, she has abandoned those.
Who would
She's
know?
on the move currently, and I would imagine the only one who has possibly run into her or caught her scent is the fox.
So we have to find the fox. The fox is going to be trailing Sidwell. And then we have to get ahead of the fox. Or just stick the fox on it.
Could.
I don't think the fox will abandon their territory right now just to go find someone, though.
She has quite a dire attitude towards Sidwell, and always has.
As in, would engage if given the possibility.
No doubt. Right now, she wants to cause as much damage as she can, and the weakest among us is the most vulnerable, and that is Sidwell. But currently, simply killing Sidwell might not stop her agents from dispersing
No,
what
we need to.
she's creating.
We need to remove. It must be stockpiled somewhere. You can't be running around all over the island with a bunch of that stuff. There has to be somewhere where it is, and we have to get at it.
One of the only unsecure places on the island currently is the apiary. Nobody's really taken much cost to assault that. So it could be there, or it could be somewhere in the wilderness.
A lot of the early research was done at the apiary. Maybe there's a clue there, and if it's not there, maybe there's some way for us to know where from there to go. Because it sounds like we're grasping for an answer right now, and we just need to. Making a call is better than sitting here going, "But what if?" And so I think the apiary is the hottest lead that we have, so we should probably start there.
I'm fine with that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Gabriel will intercede at this point. He will say, there is another possibility that I could look into for all of you. Just because we're all on the same side, it seems. Now, you're sure there aren't any other patrols that have landed?
As far as we're aware, no. We're the only patrol on the island.
Well, I'm an ex-guard, and I know a few things about the scent border and how it was being laid. I've done it a few times in my terms of service.
Okay.
In all likelihood, she has likely set up a train where this chemical is laid to sort of guide the ants along the way. I imagine if you just follow the trail,
Follow the ants.
You would be able to find out where they're marching from.
And
from there, where their queens have been laid.
Maravan would be able to give us a bird's eye view of that trail. Or one of
Very
your
true.
helpers. Or one of your helpers. It doesn't need to be you. You need to rest and recover. But so let's do that then. Let's do that.
I can probably, yes. All right then.
That is brilliant, and thank you. That is what if we know where the train is, then we can move directly against it, and that solves a lot of our problem.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Of course, that's if you can pay attention to such things. Ants are, they kind of tend to mass.
Sure.
And Maravan would like to offer you what sort of bird you want to ride.
Whatever would be best for this.
She does not have one big enough to carry all of you. She mainly just has blue jays and woodpeckers. She could get a blue jay for all of you, likely.
Woodpecker, because if it's being held
I see.
in like wooden tanks. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, she'll summon woodpeckers for you.
But would a woodpecker be able to accommodate us all?
No, not one. At the very least, you would have to get at least two.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I love
then
it.
with the expectation that they will help us should we find these storage tanks if they are impeccable. Impeccable.
You just have to worry about the bird not getting swarmed by such horrific numbers after it has pierced the scent barrel or whatever it's being contained in.
Yes, and that's what we're there for. Okay. We have a plan.
We have a plan.
We use woodpeckers to scout out the location of the train. We will attack the train with the woodpeckers and us to bust open whatever stuff they have. We will then go to Rivenon and go, we've defeated the Musk. The Musk is defeat, at least for a long enough time for us to strike.
We must pop their scent glands.
Oh, God! Oh, God!
Oh.
And once we get Rivenon on board, we go to Azalea as canceled.
Azelix.
That's a different name than you said before. Azalea.
I like Azalis. I love
Azalis.
that. Yeah,
Okay,
let's change it to
Azaleas.
that. That's
Okay.
that's cool.
Okay, Azalis. And be like, look, we got all this shit on our side now. You're going to assault from the top. Rivenon's going to assault from the bottom. We're going to assault from the air. We're going to capture Krodic. And then we're going to bring the queen back. And it's going to be awesome.
Mervon sort of puffs her feathers, growing a little fatter, with relief. It appears, because this has turned from a horrible day where she is going to die at the hands of the Azalea Guard.
Azalea, yeah.
The Azalea Guard.
The Azalea Guard.
And now there's hope for the future of Venn. So long as all of this goes without a hitch, because at the instant you can sort of destroy Sidwell's ability to rally the ants to the battlefield, it's very likely that the battle at the palace is going to be very one-sided after Mervon is summoned to open the gates. And then all you need to do is just take a ride up to the tippy top.
Into it.
Lovely.
Oh,
Well,
man.
do we want to... Oh, man. We've only been at this for a little while, and we only have 3 of our people. Do you want to take an early break while we wait for Zed?
Yeah, because
and
I feel
then-
we're probably not
yeah.
going to go all the full session, right? We'll have to wait at some
We'll go
point.
like a little bit in. I feel like this, because once again, we do want our tender paw to steal the show eventually,
Yes.
as she always does. Here,
Yes.
It's, gosh dang it, Kali, you're so pretty, and you're playing a boy.
I know.
We can, so we take a break, we come back to settle this Sidwell stuff, because here's what I think will happen. You guys will let Thistle stay and defend Mervon just in case. That way you guys only need to take like 2 woodpeckers instead of like more.
Yep.
And that way we can handle this this ant situation before we hit the big battle that is likely to come in the finale.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Perfect. All right. So I forgot to thank our sponsors at the beginning, so I'm going to do that before we go to break right here. We have 3 amazing sponsors for the channel. The first is, of course, Roll20. Roll20 is the season sponsor and part of next season. I actually need to talk to them about that. Part of next season sponsor as well. For here at Welcome to the Party, Roll20 is one of the best virtual tabletops on the internet where you can get all sorts of fun games. I actually just started in like 3 hours yesterday an entirely new D&D campaign, thanks to being able to pick up the modules and have most of the prep already done. On roll20.net. You can get a free sign up for it at our thingy. Hang on, I will put the link in the thing. What is it? Sponsors. There we go. Roll20.net, start WTTP. Free. Awesome. Do it. Helps us, helps them. It's going to be a good time. 15% off your dice at Tabletop Loot by using the code Tabletop Loot. No. WTTP Dice. And of course, 10% off all great Welcome to the Party merch at our official merch sponsor, So Nerdware. It's also what the nerds wear. We'll be back right after these messages, which essentially just said what I just said, so I could have just gone into it. Never mind. It's fine. We'll be back in a minute.
Thanks
You're killing it,
for
babe.
hanging out with us today.
Thanks.
If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot. Your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware. It's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a buck or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, but also every 500 bits or a tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent, and every 1000 bits or tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
it's me back with you. But no Zed. Zed will be attending to some matters that have appeared off camera. I hope they're cat related.
No, he got sick.
Sick with cat cuddles, maybe.
No.
No, he got sick. But we are going to, we essentially have done what I wanted this session to do, which is set up what exactly is going to be ahead of our mouse adventurers in the upcoming finale. And that means that our characters are going to have goals to accomplish. They're going to have opportunities to see their plans come together or fall apart. Who knows? But that kind of has been the purpose of this single session, is to set up everything that is going to lay the foundation to a conclusion on Venn's watery borders, and whether or not the Mouseguard can change the tumultuous fate of this island queendom. And it's also partly because I wanted it's Neuro's first campaign, and I want to I just want to help capture this ecstatic feeling you have when you sit down for that last session and you have everything planned out and assorted, and the only thing you need to do is pray that the dice fall in your favor. Which, for some reason, this campaign you guys have
It's
rolling
been great.
really well.
Yeah.
So yes, that's where we stand right now. But I'm just really excited. Venn has been a venture into Mouseguard that I have always wanted to do. Sort of semi-maritime, more diplomacy-related mission than anything else I've done. And gosh darn, both Throck and Neuro have been wonderful. And Zed has been a consistent pillar of the patrol.
Indeed.
And
All
of
right.
course, we need Pistol to steal the show.
We do. And so we will be back in 2 weeks, and it'll be in the evening because our new season starts in 2 weeks. So watch Twitter for the new time that we're all going to be here. We'll all retweet it, chat about it a whole bunch. We'll put it up on Discord as well. So we will let you know in every way that we can. But we are very much looking to have it on a Saturday to retain some consistency for the last one. But we did want to finish telling the story, and so we're going to bump up into the new season, and that's okay. We can be flexible. It's no big deal. With that, I think we're going to close for the day, right?
Yes.
Sweet. Well, so why don't we just
As
do a quick
all of
shout
you
out
get
to
on
ourselves?
top of... oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Why don't we just... Yeah, as we all get on top of woodpeckers and...
I don't know how to make bird flapping sounds.
I think it's pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Just
it's
a gentle rush of wind in the distance that sounds vaguely like a raspberry.
Knowing our luck, we'll probably have an ornithologist in our chat and be like, "That's not how it's supposed to sound."
They'll be the same ones. They'll be the same ones that say a mouse is too big and heavy for a bird to carry. I'm like, I have evidence, bitch. I have Google.
Google says it can happen. That means it's right.
There are silly pictures of mice on birds.
Okay.
Man, this has been such a great campaign. Thanks for
really
having me
has.
here. Yeah.
Very glad.
Look forward to more.
Me too. We only rolled one die. One die roll this game too.
Yeah, good job, Neuro. You did it.
You did it. Yeah.
Did it.
By one roll, it was amazing.
Oh, too bad. Maravon died.
Oh well. Womp womp.
Mission failed.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna close out. Let's do shout outs. Neuro, tell us who you are, where we can find you on the interwebs.
I am Nero. I play Stroud. Just so you guys can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Insta, all on the same handle as you see below. I do variety educational STEM streaming and also a bunch of other stuff on my Twitch channel. But other than that, you usually just find me memeing the shit out of myself on Twitter. This is aforesaid, my very first RPG, and bless him, this has been a wonderful campaign. Bless his heart for also being patient with all the holiday schedules and stuff like that.
Oh,
So, but yes, I've been very, very ecstatic.
Ooh, 4.
Hi, my name is Four. I run Mouseguard almost for a living because it is my favorite role-playing game, and very likely in the new year you will see me run it once again for who knows who, but you should play it and you should buy it and you should experience it for yourself, hopefully with me at the helm. But in 2020, I have a lot of plans, one of them being my unveiling of 4 minutes, which will be a brand new original system that I've finally hashed out. It will be essentially sort of a one-shot generator. Those are the initial mechanics for it. It'll be sort of something you can tell like Twilight Zone oriented stories with, while only using D4s, which are my favorite dice. They never get enough love. And I will also be doing Aliens, which is the new Aliens RPG from the people who did Tales from the Loop, I think. And Neural will be playing in that, I believe, and we'll be having a lot of fun pursuing. I love that series. And I just want to do my spin on it. And that's why I love tabletop role-playing games, is that they give you so many opportunities to spin your creative mind onto the things that you're doing. What else? I also want to make an Animorphs podcast, but we'll see. I also want to play more D&D, which I will be doing. And I also want to do other things like pet horses. Thankfully, I do that for a living. It's your turn now, Throck.
Hi, my name's Throck. I'm the co-founder here at Welcome to the Party. You can, of course, find me here for one more week, in 2 weeks, on the Queens of Venn. And my schedule for next season is actually going to be very small. So I could, if someone's thinking about running D&D, I could probably play in a D&D game. I would super love to play in things and not run them, because at the moment, during the new season, I will be running 2 games and playing in one. The one game.
No, you've never played D&D, right?
No, never.
No, it's good. I like it. It's a good game. People should check it out. I don't think it gets enough
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Never heard of
it. So on Friday nights, I run a D&D campaign. We have just switched to a new game called. I literally just named it yesterday, and we started it yesterday, and so it was all at once. Let me see if I can find the name. It's Princess of the Apocalypse. It's a season of 4 or something like that. Yeah, A Storm of 4 is what I called it, because I thought it was poetic. Yeah, it's a good name. And
is that your favorite like campaign that has been put out?
It's my favorite that I've run because it's so open world, and people can just kind of go and do stuff. But
Out of the Abyss.
I haven't run Out of the Abyss. I really want to.
Out of the Abyss.
I want to actually really play in Out of the Abyss as an artificer. Yeah. Why don't you run Out of the Abyss? Why don't you just run Out of the Abyss? I've only read like the first
That's my
chapter.
favorite D&D ever.
Then you should run it. You should run it.
Well, I need somewhere to run it. Where can I do that?
We can. Why don't? Well, okay, let's talk once I get off channel, okay, and we'll figure it out.
Man, this is how business is done in front of a live audience.
Our Saturday nights are technically open right now, although we're recruiting for a game for it. It may not shape up. We'll see. We'll figure something out. Anyways, you can find me Friday nights running D&D. You can find me on Tuesdays playing Rifts here at 8 p.m. Eastern in our Crazy Rifts RPG game, which is set in an insane future of magic and machine, and not Shadowrun magic and machine, but post-apocalyptic magic and machine with dragons. So it's kind of cool. And then I'll be running Deadlands over on Devil's Luck Gaming, where we will be doing an old Weird West role-playing game. That'll be fun. And that's it. That's me. So with that, we're going to say bye, and we love you. And we will see you soon. I think, like, we've got a one-shot coming up on New Year's Day. That is the next thing you'll see, and it's a Kobold Ate My Baby one-shot with the amazing Oh, you've never heard of that? Yes. Cobalt Save My Baby is a classic one-shot machine of a role-playing game. And we, I don't know what time, I think it's like 8 p.m. Eastern, New Year's Day. You should come check it out. It's going to be fun. The storyteller for it's amazing. And we, and then now you're going to hear me twice because for some reason Twitch wasn't muted. Okay, so we are going, who the hell are we going to go? Who are we going to go raid? Swordsfall. Let's go raid Swordsfall again.
Hey. Swordsfall!
Yeah. Swordsfall. An amazing contributor to the community and general spokesperson for awesome things and role-playing game creator of goodness. We're going to go say hi. And so show your love once we get over there for welcome to the party. And we'll see you soon. Bye, we love you. Bye, we love you. Gotta see it happen in tweets. And then we get to go, Okay. And we're out.